this video, we're going to be talking about what $600,000 will get you in the short pump area. Make sure you stick around to the end so I can show you my perfect little spot that not everyone knows about. You're not going to want to miss it. Hey, we have people contacting us all the time about looking for a realtor and looking to move to Richmond, Virginia. If that sounds like you, we would love to be the real estate team that helps you. All of our contact information is below the description, and we can't wait to hear from you. All right, the place that everybody loves in Richmond, the short pump area. Well, it's kind of like you love it, or you hate it, or you hate loving it. Short pump is an amazing area, and it's actually the spot when we were just moving to the Richmond area where we were living, and we love it for sure. And I want to share some of those best neighborhoods with you where you can get a great house for $600,000. Let's start off with Wellesley. It's one that a lot of people know, and it's one that we have talked about in many videos before. So for $600,000, you can actually expect to get a pretty top-end property in Wellesley. You want something a little bit smaller, you can still be in the fours, and something in the mid-range is going to be about $500,000. Most of the homes were built in the 80s or 90s and are definitely the quintessential Richmond house that you'd be looking at. And what I mean by that is that a lot of them are still going to have that, that hardy board siding that you're going to have to make sure you're treating and all. Very, very, very pretty though. If you keep it up, it's great. Very colonial styles. Having a garage, don't anticipate that you absolutely 100% will have one, but you will absolutely have one of those cute little side porches. So typically your front door and your side door sort of thing, and then your little storage shed there. Expect that you're going to have at least 3 to 4 bedrooms, definitely 2.5 baths. Do not anticipate that you're going to have a garage. Again, back to that quintessential Richmond home during the 80s and 90s. A lot of them don't have garages, so don't expect that. But you definitely will have a garage, or will have a good sized driveway, excuse me. Yard size, decent sized properties, but not huge. Wellesley is definitely not on the big side for lots, but where it has little lots, it makes up for everything in its amenities and everything that is all around there for sure. For any kind of updates, and particularly the $600,000 range, because you will be on kind of the top end of the neighborhood, expect that you are going to see some decent updates for sure, really mixing that kind of old with the new. Lots of blown out walls, particularly between the kitchen and the family room area. You'll typically see the kitchens and the bathrooms will be where people are going to be spending their money on doing things. You will see a little bit of people putting some money into their landscaping for sure. Wellesley is a very active community, and lots of people that spend a lot of time out in their yards. So I would say looking for some improvements on the landscaping is going to be something you can definitely anticipate for sure. If you're having a housewarming party, this is a community that you're going to want to go knock on the doors of your neighbors so that they are prepared. Being very mindful of not blocking driveways. The houses are set pretty close to each other, and I feel like the roads are a little bit more narrow. So you may want to be suggesting that that people are parking over by the lake in the parking lot over there, and then kind of shuttling people over. That'd be kind of what I would recommend for different things there. All right, favorite places close by. When you're in Wellesley, you have so much at your fingertips, literally. You could dash across Broad Street to get right there to Short Pump, because you are literally smack dab right in the middle of that. This area for sure, the location is the main point of Wellesley and why people love it for sure. Lots of amenities, several different lakes, particularly the most picturesque one. It's where anyone that lives in the Richmond area, particularly north of the James, over in the Short Pump area, if your kids are going to prom, you're gonna get those pictures at the gazebo over at Wellesley. Great swim team, tennis courts, awesome swim team, just lots of different things right there. You have a great little shopping center there. For a great restaurant to go to, Vinny's Pizza, they run a special. Usually come Wednesdays, you can get a really great pizza, and it's very authentic Italian. Then you've got the corner bar for recreation. When I say bar, I'm not talking about the bar like boop, 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 boop. I am more the exercise bar, so that's something that's really nice there. Lots of parks for walking and playing and doing all the different things there for sure. And like I said, the smaller lots that you're going to be looking at, you do have a fitness club, short pump right there for you for sure. The vibe of the community is very social, very lively. If you don't like being in the mix of everything, if you don't want to be in the hubbub of everything, not the neighborhood for you, because you are smack dab right in short pump for sure. By comparison, if you are looking to do what most people will recommend that you do for real estate, is that you want to be on the smaller end of a neighborhood, Wilde Lake would be a great option for you. For $600,000, you are going to be getting a smaller home in the neighborhood, whereas you want to step things up, you expect to be more in the $800,000 range. But that's a great thing, is that, you know, you really get the best bang for your buck, always do better for square footage, and again, making good real estate decisions for sure. All the homes in Wilde Lake are going to be built in the 80s and 90s, very colonial style. $600,000, I wouldn't absolutely 100% guarantee that you're going to have a garage, but you will have at least 3 to 4 bedrooms, definitely 2.5 bathrooms, decent sized lots, probably closer to an acre there. And again, Wilde Lake is a really pretty community. Everyone loves it that drives in, even if there isn't anything available in there, which often there aren't. For options there, people do love the community. Clubhouse, the pool, in fact, the pool thing is for recreation, which is a great thing, is you can actually belong to their particular pool, even if you don't live in the community. So this is awesome for if you find a great house there, but your friends seem to be going to school with a bunch of kids that live in other neighborhoods. You know, get together with all their moms and their dads and plan to join the Wilde Lake, the Colonies Swim Club would be something for you guys to do. For any kind of renovations, I would expect in this price point, because you are kind of on the low end of the neighborhood, don't anticipate that everything's going to be updated, but anything that's going to be done, this is an affluent area, this is an affluent neighborhood, expect that it's going to be done nicely. Again, a lot of blown out walls between the kitchens and the family rooms to open things up. Most of the places are going to have granite countertops. The cabinets likely in the kitchen are going to be original. Bathrooms, you may have a couple different updates. Pretty much it would be like, it's going to be mixing a couple bits of little, you know, putting lipstick on a pig, but then very classic, well-built homes in a great community for sure. Again, if you're having a housewarming party, this is a great neighborhood that all of the roads are a bit wider. That makes it nicer for parking, so you're not going to be disturbing anyone or worrying about that for overflow. Food. I think that the kind of the fun thing for where this particular one is located, and you definitely could take a dash across Lauderdale, would be Rita's Ice Cream. That is, whenever it gets warm, it's particularly if it's a Friday night or a Saturday or Sunday, everyone's going to be lined out almost to Lauderdale waiting for great Rita's, either their ice or their great homemade custard. Just a classic, definitely quintessential short pump thing to do as it gets warm outside. So I just always think of Rita's, lightning bugs, and ice cream melting all over everybody's hands, sort of thing. Super, super active community. They're always doing drives for the swim team. They have their things like, you know, their food trucks that come out there regularly. They have a luminary thing that they do, and Santa comes and shows up at Christmas time. You are right up the street from Short Pump, so if you want to go catch a movie, not even 3 minutes in the car, you're there. You've got the great shops there in the corner of Broad. So you could have Starbucks right there, a great lingerie shop. I would definitely recommend to everyone, if you have ever lived over in Europe and have enjoyed having a better selection, this is very personal to the ladies, a better selection of bras that are made for people that maybe have a smaller back, like me. This is a great shop to go check out. It's kind of where I get all my stuff, and they fit you, and it's super customized, and you don't have to walk into all your big name places that don't have things that are going to fit you. So definitely keep that in mind. Tweed is right there, right across the street. Wonderful for finding those special gifts. I know I've received many wonderful gifts from Tweed that I love, and they remind me more of like a Tiffany's, because they have those Tiffany blue bags. So it's kind of like, you know, you get a bag from Tiffany's, you're like, ooh, it's going to be something special. If you get that blue bag from Tweed, you know it's going to be something fun too. Lots of personalization. They sell some great some great plates and dinnerware that has all of the different like major special sites and monuments that are kind of like etched along the side. That's one of my favorite things. And then I have like a great little serving dish. And pretty much every time I entertain, I'm pulling out all of my gifts that I've gotten from Tweed. I'm always like, ooh, I feel all fancy. Even if I don't live in Short Pump anymore, I'm all fancy. What else is there? Like, great thing about Wilde Lake is for, you know, the kids, if you don't even want to drive up the street to one of the many libraries that are around there, they have one of those free little library boxes you'll find throughout the community that you can trade up the books. That's really fun sort thing. Let me see if our favorite restaurant right there. Well, we already talked about Rita's for sure. The Vibe, again, very social, very community oriented. If you are looking for something that's a little bit quieter and not in the swing of things and not having to worry about during the holidays or during the trafficy more times, you might be sitting at the stoplight a little bit more time. You know, Wilde Lake is not going to be for you, but if you want to be in the thick of things and right where lots of people want to be when they move to the Richmond area, definitely consider Wilde Lake, and you'd be getting a great bang for your buck because you'd be on the lower end of the neighborhood. So solidly, we can easily get you into a great Short Pump neighborhood called Oak Ridge if you're looking to spend about $600,000. You'll be right in the mid-range. You could actually find something in the neighborhood for very affordable, still in the $400,000s, but if you're looking for a larger home, expect that you're going to be in the $800,000 range. So kind of a big range and jump between them. All of these homes were built in the 80s and 90s. You're gonna find that a lot on the Short Pump area. You'll have a good sized lot. Most of them are gonna be about half an acre. You'll have a house that's probably about 3,500 square feet. Expect to have at least 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths at a minimum. Having a garage is not a guarantee. This neighborhood is very established. Expect you're going to be finding a lot of colonial and a lot of split level homes. Do not expect, just because you're spending in the $600,000 range, that these homes over in Oak Ridge are actually going to be updated. Here's the difference though. They will be very quality built. These are solidly built homes. You may have a little bit of hardwood that's already running through the house. You may probably see some renovations. More than anything is that they're opening up rooms to make it a little bit more conducive to living today. Anything that's done, it may not be the most beautiful or on-trend fixture or update that they're doing to a kitchen or to the bathroom, but it will be very good quality. People that live in Oak Ridge and invest in homes there tend to invest in really nice quality things. So it may not be the sexy new fixture that you've been looking for, but they will have nice things in there that will absolutely last. If you live in Oak Ridge, one of it has to do with the location. If I was thinking about anything I was doing, if it was a slightly nice day, or even if I just needed to get some fresh air, because of where it's at, Deep Run Park, no question about it. Easily walk to, easily run to, easily ride your bike, what have you, or pop in the car for less than a minute and you're there. Deep Run has a very special place in my heart. When we lived in Richmond, literally right across from it for a good 8 years, and really enjoyed walking our dogs over there, enjoying lots of festivals, just walking through there. I can think of some really happy walks throughout there. I can think of some really sad walks. Actually, when we had to put down one of our puppy dogs, I remember my husband and I walking through there and walking with our other dogs, and they were really sad, and we were crying the whole time because we were thinking about all the times we had taken her around, and as it got to the end in her little puppy stroller and like that. But lots of great memories over in Deep Run Park. Happy memories, happy memories. Playgrounds for the kids. They have pavilions that you can rent if you're wanting to do just like a get together. And again, they always have like little festivals throughout the year. Everyone's always playing soccer, even adults. Like we'll pick up soccer on a Friday night where people literally just go over there. They're all parking and running out, and just people from all different places playing football. Excuse me about that. They have a great rec center on there as well, and they offer a lot of public things through the Henrico County system. So that is a great thing, definitely. For eating, I'm going to have to say Glory Days. It is a chain, but it is a really popular one right in the area and sits right in the shopping center right off of Ridgefield Parkway, and that's kind of a fun thing for any locals, because particularly if it's a big home game for Godwin High School, which is right down the street where both of my kids graduated from, they're always going to be running some sort of special for Godwin people if they come in with their, their school colors on, their Eagle colors sort of thing. Other things that'd be fun to do as you are in football season would be catching a football game on a Friday night over at Godwin High School. Great stadium, lots of fun memories with our kids. I can even think of things that my husband can think about when he'd come and visit his cousins when he was growing up, centered around Godwin High School. So nice to have everything kind of really that very community, small knit feel. Oak Ridge it's going to have a very established feel to it, where you may not see a lot of updates and renovation and luxury inside. Again, very quality built. Good bones, as people say in real estate, but you will have the most beautiful manicured lawns with established landscaping. I look for every excuse during the spring when all the azaleas are blooming to just drive through Oak Ridge, even if there is nothing for sale and there's nothing for me to show to my clients. Just absolutely gorgeous. Another neighborhood that I've been really fortunate to spend a lot of time in lately, if you're looking for a home in the 600,000 range, I would be remiss if I didn't take you into Whitaker Woods for sure. You're going to be in the mid-range for the neighborhood at 600,000 was great, where you can get something a little bit smaller, maybe in the 500s, and then something larger, not too far up in the 700s, so just solidly right there in the middle. All the homes were built within the 70s and 80s. Another one that just has established great lawns, about a ½ acre or so, lots of pretty landscaping and established trees and yards. Your houses that you're actually going to be looking at 600,000 in Whitaker Woods are going to be at least 3,500 square feet. I'd say 3 to 4 bedrooms, at least 2.5 baths, garage, hit or miss. Again, we're getting back to kind of that quintessential Richmond house. Just because you have a detached home does not mean you're going to have a garage in Richmond. However, you will have great driveway space, nice wide streets. If you're having that housewarming party, you don't have to worry about your folks finding parking. Shoot, if you've got several teenage drivers or all their friends over there, God, we feel for you. I remember those days. God, I'm so glad to have all those kids off of our insurance plans because of the crazy rates. Anyways, great spot. You're not gonna have to worry about any kind of space there. Another one that it's very classic, colonial feel throughout. Not gonna see a lot of real fancy updates on the homes. You are buying in Whitaker Woods to be in the location that you're at and have really, really pretty houses. I do notice every house that I show in there, no matter what, even if it hasn't been updated a lick since the 70s or 80s, is they do have the most beautiful staircases, which I think is a lot to say for that age range of house, because you're not talking about a house that was built in the golden age in the late 1800s or like the early 1900s up to the 20s, like if you are down in some of the beautiful places in downtown. Really pretty staircases with really nice stairwells. I think that sets the tone for a neighborhood, and everything kind of around it. It's nice. It's very welcoming sort of thing. I've never shown a house in this price range in Whitaker Woods where it wasn't well maintained, that it wasn't nicely decorated, even if it was a little bit dated. I wanted to stay and spend time. All right, so if you wanted to go to like, where is everyone hanging out? If you live in this neighborhood, definitely. I think it's just because, of maybe the time of year. I am just craving everything but ice cream. So I think of this neighborhood and I think of Brewster's. Great spot right down the street. You could easily walk there on an evening, and again, kind of the lines all the way out to Ridgefield Parkway if you're looking for some good ice cream, but they do have some shops there. Nice thing in Richmond in general, but I love it particularly in the Short Pump area and right by this particular neighborhood, that if your kids are into baseball, if they're looking at wiffle ball, if they're looking into Little League or what have you, there's a great park literally that backs right up to the neighborhood, and that's a fun thing for people, that you don't even have to get in the cars, don't even have to worry about finding parking, just walk over with your kids for practice and for their games for sure. So lots of opportunities there. And of course, you're still super close to Short Pump. All of the shopping is there. Every particular big brand, big box shopping that you can think of, and then of course you've got Short Pump Town Center right there, which is just nice to go walk around if you need to do some shoppings. So a solid neighborhood for sure to check out. If you're looking for a house in 600,000 range, I'm definitely going to take you into Wythe Trace, and you actually are going to feel like king of the castle there. You're going to have one of the larger homes in the neighborhood. Whereas smaller homes are going to be in the 400,000, and kind of the mid-range, you'll be in the 500,000. So if you'd like to be the head dog, then this would be a good spot for you to go there. All of these houses are going to be built in the 1990s. You'll definitely get at least 3 or 4 bedrooms, and a garage will be a guarantee. So this might be something that will be the differentiation. Lots of brick homes in there because of the time period that it was built for sure. So if you're looking for just that quintessential home, and you know you want to be in Short Pump, and you know you've got about 600,000 to spend, your money's going to go far there for sure. Super close to everything for sure. You've got Short Pump right around the way. Lots of great parks. I think, in fact, I have some clients that just were looking over there, and that was the big pull for that particular neighborhood, where it lacks in the amenities. Its location makes up for it, because you can literally walk or barely drive to everything as well. If you are having a housewarming party, things are situated well. There'll be plenty of on-street parking, plus you tend to have big, thick driveways. The nice thing about this too is, if you're one that is looking for a home that doesn't have a lot of hills, it's pretty flat, whatever it is where it sits. I have never noticed a single basement in the particular neighborhood. For the price range of 600,000, the nice thing in Wythe Trace is that things are going to be improved, because you're on the high end of the neighborhood. You're going to expect to see at least granite or quartz in the kitchens. All of the appliances will be replaced, and you're probably going to have all your bathrooms renovated as well. So if you're looking for an established neighborhood within this price point, right within this area, and need to get good bang for your buck, this would be a good one to check out for sure. The nice thing about the location, even though you don't have the amenities, because you bump right up to Wellesley, you get to enjoy all the trails that you have right there at the lake. That's where, I see a lot of people cutting over for those particular neighborhoods for sure. The vibe is quiet. It's not amenity rich. It's not a sexy, like a whole bunch of entrances. It's just a nice, solid neighborhood with some great homes on big lots. I always love to save the best for last, and surprisingly enough, some people might be like, why in the world is she talking about this neighborhood? Well, you know what? I love this neighborhood. It's my YouTube channel, so I'm going to talk about it. 600,000, you may not think it by looking at this neighborhood, but you can get a great house, and you probably can get a waterfront home with that too. Centerbury. Long time established neighborhood. They were all built within the 60s. It's an oldie but a goodie. Perfectly positioned, and I'm a weirdo person. I don't know why, particularly since I'm in real estate. You should think about, oh, those are the things that just kill things. Ironically enough, I have owned 2 homes that have either backed to a road or had a road right in front of them. I don't know why I like this neighborhood. Many of them run right along Pump, and they're right on the main roads. It's just the way they're set, and it just kind of sets the area. Reminds me, I think it's because it reminds me very much of the Great Falls, McLean area in Virginia that I grew up in. Just reminds me very much of that. So again, houses are going to be built in the 60s. If you're buying a house for 600,000 in Centerbury, you're going to kind of be the big guy on the totem pole sort thing. You're going to get a home that is at least 4,000 square feet. You're likely going to have a basement. Garage, though, hit or miss. Again, back to kind of that classic Richmond thing, but you likely are going to be on the water. For a smaller home, you could get something actually in the high 400s, and then mid-range, maybe the 5s or something like that. Again, many of them on the water. You're going to be looking at mostly colonial and split level homes. As for renovations, definitely come into this neighborhood. Now, you are on the high end for the neighborhood, so you probably are going to see some updates on things, but this is a community where people buy a home and they stay for a long time. There are still many original owners in Centerbury, and I think that's what kind of keeps that feel going. I love driving through there. You're going to see a nice mix of, brick, stone, siding, all of those different things, and just those pretty bright colored doors with those very classic things, and beautiful, beautiful lawns. Another one that I love to drive through in the spring to see all the pretty azaleas or what have you. What are you gonna do for fun if you live in, oh, sorry, we forgot about if you're having a party. Well, I can definitely speak to this in great detail. My son's girlfriend's family always has the best, most fun Greek Easter big bashes that they hold in their backyard, which is over in Centerbury. And well, parking, literally, there's like everyone that's anyone is going to this party. And so you can be several blocks down, as we usually are. Lots of street parking. They're nice and wide. You don't have to worry about bothering anyone or blocking anyone's driveway. And you can just smell the amazing food. You can hear all the music from several blocks down. And everyone that's anyone wants to be there for this amazing food. I'm sorry that you don't know them. Maybe if you work with us, I could get you in with the family and you can come have Greek Easter with us over in Centerbury as well. I hope you could. Lots of places over there where you will find in-ground pools in the backyard. In fact, it kind of gives me that feel. Again, I think this comes back to the whole, like, it reminds me of Great Falls, it reminds me of McLean where I grew up. Lots of tall fences, and there's usually like this whole world behind the fences, like in-ground pools, beautiful gardens, all those different things. Again, inside though, will you maybe see some updates? Perhaps, but you're gonna find a lot of very traditional things, well-built, nicely, nice products in there, but a kind of a, if it ain't broke, don't fix it sort of thing. But to get into the neighborhood, you'd be very glad to do so, and you'd be happy to update it exactly how you are. So many different things for you to do. Of course, you've got the water right there. I can think of my son and all of his friends regularly fishing out in the ponds and along Pump Road as you get down to the water, or, you know, dropping them off and coming back and picking them up for sure. Restaurant, an amazing, amazing French restaurant, Chez Max, that is in the little shopping center, butts right up against this particular neighborhood. Very intimate, definitely you need to know about it in order to be there. Doesn't look like a whole lot from the outside, but when you go in, absolutely delicious. Just the meals are so amazing, and definitely make sure you make a reservation. You're not just going to be able to walk in there forever. I always think about the amazing smells coming from it because that ties into kind of the recreation. You've got Centerbury swimming pool right there. Long classic, not a private pool. Anyone can join, but there still is a wait list even though it's an older pool. But everything like literally right outside of your doorstep, which I think is really nice. But I think of this particular restaurant on a regular basis when I would drop and pick up my daughter from the West End Academy of Dance that sits right in that same shopping center. Lots of great memories and practices and fun things to watch. And then again, we'd be picking up the girls. It was like you go in the like line at the schools to pick up your kids, and it always would be some amazing smells that were coming out from the French restaurant for sure. Fun things, of course, a classic whenever it's St. Patrick's Day, you need your quintessential Irish pub, all right there in the shopping center as well. Even if you need to get a quick haircut, you've got a place right there too. So everything kind of right at your fingertips without you even having to take Pump straight up and hit right Broad Street. So you are super convenient to everything, but you can kind of stay like right in your little neighborhood, right in your little spot. Really beautiful established lawns, established quiet neighborhood, except if it's Greek Easter, then you're gonna hear all the Greek music going on sort of thing. But no, great spot and something that I always look for any opportunity and excuse to show beautiful homes over there to my clients. If you have any questions or if we've missed anything in this particular video, please remark down in the comments and we'll be sure to get back to you. And who knows, maybe we might make a video just for you.